Welcome everyone to our February 14th
Tony can hear us.
Water and Sewer Meeting. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And Peter, you want to make a motion?
I move that we approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting in January.
So moved. Okay, Mike Canales is the first person on the agenda. Mike, you want to go ahead?
So I mentioned last week about coming in and just going over. I'm gonna just joining the meeting with my laptop so I can throw up the information.
Hi, Tony.
How you doing, Don? Peter? Good.
Gee, where are you,
Oh,
Tony?
there's Tony. He's not at the Cape.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna screen share. Oops, where is my?
When did Mike go up, Tony?
I think they left on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
He's going to be up there for the full week?
I believe so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have snow up there.
I think the snow finally arrived up there, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where is he, Tony?
It's up in Maine somewhere.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm not exactly sure the township, but it's in Upper Maine.
All right, so I'm gonna, I'll blow this up. And we'll just scroll down. So one thing we had talked about after looking at, we need to come up with what our rate justifications are, why we're charging what we're charging and the rest. Especially with some of the debt and other things falling off. And if you remember last year, we did a little research into the setup of the whole thing and then we had to do this. So if every year when we put together our budget. And
Hey, Michael, it says invalid ID on the link. Is that true or no?
what's that?
Should people use the select board link to log in?
No, I couldn't get in on that one.
Oh,
What link are you in on?
I just went on to Zoom and rebooted into my Zoom account, and then I typed in the actual number in the G stock for the passcode. Yeah, the blue link didn't work.
Yeah,
Okay, because that's what I have right here. That blue.
well, if you don't use the blue link, if ever the blue link doesn't work for some reason, then the meeting ID.
Yes,
And
that's how I got on, the meeting ID.
we have two ways of logging in on our,
Okay.
on our forms. Plus you can call in on those numbers. So there's a lot of different ways. So as you can see, this is a normal budget that we do every year. And then if there's any debt, now what I did do is we need to look at all the indirect costs too. So we have health insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, and retirement for 1.5 people for water and 1.5 people for sewer. Then if you look at this, which is the actual, this is the income for the last couple of years, and you can see where we had the original budget, but we never took into consideration any indirect costs. So over on the far right, if you look, by bringing in this year's, these are 2023's income. So commitment 1, commitment 2, plus all the different incomes that come in, means that we have a total income of $375,455. We need at least, so the rate justification comes out to be indirect costs and everything, a cost of $336,178. which means a surplus deficit of 39,277.56. We're probably never going to be able to be precisely 100% accurate on how some of this comes in based on water and stuff, but we know. So when I look at what the state and others, what we should be doing is somewhere between 85 and 100% of our actual costs. So right now our expenses are at 90% of our income. So to me, I feel like we've justified the rate. We're within an acceptable margin. We're not overcharging by 30, 40%. We're just, we're within 10% of where we need to be. So this just justifies exactly where the water rate would come in. Now, what will happen in the future is, say we decide on a borrowing or whatever, we'll feed that into here. And then once it exceeds, expenses exceed 100%, we have to go up on the rate.
Right.
And then what we probably do is knock it back again down to 90 or around 90%, and then, or between 85 and 100%.
Keep working on that number.
Just keep tweaking it each year. But right now, based on where we are, right now we could add about almost 40,000 in expenses on an annual basis. And that also means that when I report the income to the state on the money, on our tax recap, we have to report, and that's where they want to see between 85 and 100% of the actuals. So like I said, we're coming in right at 90%. Like I said, I think 10% is a acceptable margin right now. No anticipation of having to increase the rates next year. But like I said, if we did go up 50,000, we'd be 10,000 over. So we'd adjust the rate to get us back under 100%.
And excuse me.
Yeah.
Will that reduce the general operating expense by the equivalent amount that you pulled over, like for things like health insurance?
Yeah, so right now, starting this year, all this money goes, before all we were pulling was just the operating budget over on local receipts. Now we're pulling all the money over on local receipts.
I mean, I know the answer, but I'm just saying this is going to lower the general operating budget by the equivalent amount that we're pulling into justify the rate. So that's good news for the town, actually.
Yeah. And what will happen in the future after we've expended the any surplus money is now everything's going to be created into free cash. So it'll be all departments together all at once.
So when we go out to any kind of thing for town meeting, before it was always, and we always wanted it that way, that we would do a sewer water available surplus. And now that's not going to happen.
In a couple of years, that money will be gone, and yes, then you'll be going for what's called free cash that's available, any surplus that's generated by the town as a whole, instead of the sewer and water by itself. So right now, you guys should be generating about 40,000 toward the free cash next year. But it's no longer generating 130, 140,000.
Right, just almost when we go to that's explained at the town meeting, so people understand that, where's the water and sewer surplus, where to go?
Yeah.
I just want people to be aware of that, because before it wouldn't affect their taxes.
It wouldn't, so.
And right now, it's not either. As long as the total costs are, it's still not. Right. We have to just explain to people.
Exactly.
It's not affecting, it's not affecting the tax rate, because we are taking in enough to cover all. And right now, we're taking about 10% more than what we need to cover, which is, like I said, an acceptable range.
Which is
we
good.
want to be within that acceptable range.
Fine.
Sewer expenses is the same, went through all the sewer expenses. Brought up that health insurance, dental, life insurance, retirement, added everything in. We get, again, a number of total expenses that I need to correct my spelling on one of those, but if you go to the sewer, it's the same thing. We end up with, there's our total commitments, final rate demand fees, there's our total income, there's our rate justification. Right now, sewer and water is generating a surplus deficit of 66,000, which is 88%. So that's sitting at the low end, pushing toward the 85, that we don't, if it was below 85, then I'd recommend a rate reduction. If it's above, now part of that is a big part of the debt just fell off.
Right.
So that's gonna,
$98,000.
yeah, right. This actually was tracking at over 100%, except that for next year's budget, that's what I'm referring for this one, the 2024 budget. Like I said, I got some labeling I was fiddling with this to fix, but for the 2024 budget, it's going to be at 88%, but it was over 100 last year because it had those payments in. So we took out 90,000 payments and added in 40 something thousand. So it's all there. So right now, both accounts, we can justify the rates where they're at. Sewer's a little on the lower end, but it's within that 85 to 100%. And if we use those as our targets, then we know when we're adjusting the rates. By putting in the middle, we're not adjusting the rates every year either. So we don't have to get into one of those up and down every year trying to hit 100%. We're saying if it's under 85%, we lower the rates. If it's above 100%, we need to raise the rates.
Right now, we're in good shape.
We're in good shape.
Perfect.
Yep.
Great.
And that'll get us in alignment with everything we needed to do after some questions were raised last year.
Now, as far as budgets go, Tony and Mike, do they still need to submit their budgets
Yep, same way.
to you? Okay.
Everything's the same budget process, same capital and since they still have money in their surpluses, we'll be hitting those first. And then eventually, in a couple of years, it'll go toward capital, be considered with all the other departments.
Okay.
Use of free cash,
When do the budgets have to be done?
February 15th.
Okay.
So Tony gave me everything for his today. So I haven't been able to plug in everything, but by the time we have your next meeting, I should be able to share everything, including that. One of the things we did discuss was doing that final study, the 200 and something thousand, because there is 300 and
Right.
I think I didn't update the sheet yet. I'm going to have another sheet to give you guys, so it'll have all three, including what you have, what your surplus is, and then where the accounts are at. So you'll be able to see it, but
Yeah.
we're going to pretty much wipe out the sewer one this year so let's get that final phase 4 done.
Yes.
So then
Yeah,
we have
definitely.
it ready. We can go look for if there's any grants available, anything else, have it 100% ready. So you've done 1, 2, and 3, and then it'll also, we're doing the evaluation of prioritization and then stage 4. So everything will be done, and then he has a couple others, which was a pump, sludge pump, and something else he wants to get fixed. And then we'll be good.
Yeah, so that's stage 4, that's prioritizing new sewers in town.
Stage 4 is the actual work done on the inflow and infiltration. The
Right.
prioritization
Right,
plan
that's-
will be part of stage 4.
Right, that's right, that's what I meant. That's going to be, yeah.
The stage 3 is now done, or there's a couple, I guess I have to come back to, I mean, they might as well now, it's spring.
Yeah, yeah,
That's for sure.
this is, yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, yeah, if we could, our board, if we could get a copy of Tony's and Mike's budgets, it'd be
Yep.
great. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, if you can email those to us before the next meeting, that would,
Yeah.
if they're available.
No, I'll scan them in because
Yep.
like I said, Tony, you didn't send me over the capital ones electronically, did you?
No, but I can. I will do that.
All right. If not, I can just scan them up here too and send them.
Okay.
So that's not a problem. We just don't have them right here because we just went over it today. And like I said, I'll be putting the budget. I plan on presenting an initial draft of the requests to the select board on the not this Thursday, the following Thursday. And then I'll be setting up the first finance committee meeting, and then we're off into the budget season.
Excitement continues.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike. The I study, Tony?
Yeah, so as Mike said, phase 3, they came back 2 weeks ago and finished up the punch list, with just a few, there was like 600 or 700 remaining feet done. So all of phase 3 has been cameraed. And, we'll be awaiting a report from that. And just to clarify, excuse me, the special articles were phase 4, the finished phase 4 of the I&I study, and then the sewer needs analysis study as well. So they're two separate entities.
Okay,
I believe everybody was kind of comfortable with doing the sewer analysis study.
yes, definitely.
Taking the remaining areas of town, prioritizing, researching, and figuring out where the best needed places to be sewered would be.
I think that's what we were going for, Tony. Yeah, that's
And then,
great.
the two other articles are, I want to overhaul the 3 raw wastewater pumps in our pump gallery here at the plant again, one at a time. It was done in 2012. They're recommended to be done every 10 years. So we'll do those one at a time this year, propose that at the town meeting. And we need to replace our sludge handling pump in the cellar, which is 20 years old. And the manufacturer of that is out of business now, so we can't get parts.
Of course, yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
Do we know what,
Basically, the operating budget and overview, it's it's going to be increased by about $8,000
Fine.
without going through every line with you.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
do we know what the sewer needs analysis, project costs?
49,000.
And is that something you're gonna try to fund through your surplus or from ARPA?
We're not gonna use ARPA because then we'd have to go out for engineering quotes. What we want to do is use DPI who's done it. So right now, Tony has 358,000 in his account, 259 would be for stage 4. 49 would be the assessment, 36 are the sludge pumps, 12,000 is the piece in the basement, which is 358,000, which would have a balance after this year in this. And basically we close out the sewer one of 150.
Does that include the
Right now.
needs analysis or is that?
Yep, that's
Oh, no, that's not
49,000.
included.
Yep. So we can do everything that we need to do this year and it would pretty much eliminate the sewer surplus account. But it gets them in a real good position, especially if there's,
But those have to all be approved at town meeting?
they still have to all be approved at town meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. All those articles, yep. Safe yield, Tony, that's actually something that,
That's Mike's.
that's Mike's and master plan. Those are both
So
issues.
I can speak of the master plan a little bit.
Okay,
DPC Engineering started today doing some field analysis work, going around and locating hydrants and valves, et cetera, and starting to GPS, put in points from the maps and things. So they're doing some field work this week. I think we got a bonus here with the weather, obviously, in February. So people are kind of gearing up earlier this year. And so they're starting to work on that.
yeah, I saw walking today, all the different markings for the water shutoffs in the road. They sprayed them blue. Looks like the whole town is sprayed. So
That's what they're out doing, exactly.
okay, that's what they're doing. Good. It's great that we have a start on that.
And just a little update on the pump station. Park Street Pump Station project. Been receiving a bunch of shop drawings, and things are starting to move along on that. It looks like the wet well structures and everything have been approved and are ordered, ordered through the contractor. There's a pre-construction meeting dated for March 1st around 9:00 on site down there. I believe Mike Canals is going to attend as well. So I think that once we get through February and March rolls around, I think things are going to start wheeling down there. I think we'll get a schedule from them around March 1st about their construction schedule, and things will proceed.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
You said that's at 9:00, Tony, March 1st?
Yes, it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
If you feel like coming, feel free.
Yeah, I'll throw it on the calendar. Why not? Sounds great. Anything else, Tony?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Patrick?
No.
Anything? Peter?
I'm all set.
Okay, make a motion, we adjourn. Thank you. See you, Tony.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.